Kia ora, this is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor as well as education advisor. As you guys know, I love to give information and advice about settling in New Zealand through the pathway of education. And as you all know, I also like to give video answers to the questions that come through our Facebook page and through our YouTube channel, mainly for two reasons. One, I think these video answers make it very interactive and personal. And two, because I'm a very lazy person and I hate typing, so I would rather make this videos and answer your questions. Okay, talk about being frank. Well, today's question, it says, is from somebody called Anjan, who writes, as per today's news, change of immigration policy in New Zealand. As you know, I'm already enrolled in AJV and I'm in the process of joining you in New Zealand. As I'm told, the new rules of New Zealand government will consider skilled workers who gets salary more than 50,000 for getting a PR. As you know, I'm intended to join the course of supply chain logistics after finishing my graduate diploma. Am I eligible to get an employment which fetch a salary of $50,000 and get me PR, which is my ambition? All right, Anjan, thanks for writing. You are an AJV student, you've committed to work with us, so obviously you get preference and you will get an immediate and personalized answer like this video message. Yeah, the policy changed and I already made a couple of videos about it. You can have a look at it. The gist of my videos is that a lot has not changed. You know, it was pretty much the same as what it was before. It just looks like people are making a lot of song and dance about this policy change, but there really was not a lot of change except for a few professions, so I don't think there's something to be concerned about. And as regarding your course choice, which was to study in supply chain and logistics, the jobs you can get after you complete this course essentially would be a procurement manager or a purchasing and supply officer, or as an importer exporter. I mean, these are by and large the three kinds of employment that you could or jobs you could try and get after you complete a course in supply chain management. Now, procurement managers usually earn between $90,000 to $140,000 per year, and the opportunities for procurement managers with strategic procurement experience are good, as there is strong demand for their services. So that is about the procurement managers. As regarding purchasing supply officers, they usually earn between $45,000 to $65,000 per year, and senior officers earn usually between $70,000 to $140,000 per year. And chances of getting a job as a purchasing supply officer are average, because it is a relatively small occupation and that is not experiencing a lot of growth. The third one is to work as an importer or exporter, and they normally earn between $35,000 to $75,000 per year. And chances of getting a job as an importer or exporter are also average because of the stable number of people in this role. Now, these are not my words; these are words from official information that is published by the government of New Zealand. So I absolutely am quoting from websites which are published by the government of New Zealand. So the answer to your question is yes, there are jobs available, and especially procurement managers. But the writer there says that it also requires people with experience, and then there are purchasing supply officers who are also in the bracket that is now required for you to be able to make an eventual resident visa application, and so also for importers and exporters. So there are opportunities. It is not like there are no opportunities. And your question, will I get a job, is something that I cannot answer or nobody can answer, and that's a question that only you can answer. We can tell you that the opportunities exist. There is demand for procurement managers, average demand, good demand for procurement managers, average demand for purchase and supply officers, and average demand for exporters and importers. So the opportunities are there, and also the salary brackets are fine in terms of if you're able to get it. Will you get a job? We don't know. You're the person who's going to be here in New Zealand. It's going to depend on you, how well you adapt to New Zealand. We don't know how good your English skill would be in the Western world. You may be able to speak good English right now in your current environment, but you obviously will need to modulate and make it a bit more effective because it is an English-speaking country. As I keep saying, English is always the key factor. So that's something you need to consider. I don't know how confident you are in a social situation. I don't know if you're able to sit across the table and face a panel of 3 or 4 people who may do your interview. I don't know if you will be an absolute star and breeze through the interview, or whether you jam up and freeze up and you're not able to answer the question. So we don't know. So that's really a question that you need to answer. What New Zealand provides is an opportunity for young people to come and study here, and it has created a government policy to pathway these students into work. That's the reason there is a post-study work visa, and there is also a good opportunity for people in certain areas. So your particular field in your supply chain and logistics, there are opportunities, but it will boil down to you, Anjan. And I keep saying not only to you, but to everybody who is coming to New Zealand, especially students coming to New Zealand through AJV, please do not think that we will ever tell you that, oh yeah, you will definitely make it, because it's not correct. As I said, there are a lot of factors which go into you being able to find employment, and most of it will depend on you, and most of it is in your own hands in terms of your abilities and your attitude and your knowledge and your skill. What a company like AJV will do, unlike a lot of other companies who also recruit students to New Zealand, is that we are here in New Zealand to provide you a good entry and to give you continuous and ongoing support and confidence of knowing that there is somebody senior who's already lived in New Zealand that you can fall back upon. We will create networking opportunities. We will help you with your CV and your cover letters. We will try and point you in the right direction of saying, hey, look for a job here. Look for a job here. If you find an employment because of the fact that I'm a licensed immigration advisor, you can check back with me and say, hey, Arun, what do you think about this job offer? And I can give you my technical and professional advice and say, okay, that's good enough for you to move to the next work visas or to the resident visas and so on and so forth. So it has to be a combination of primarily your own abilities and your confidence, followed by, supported by people like AJV and our organization here in New Zealand. So that's the gist of pretty much every student who's coming here. If you're not confident about your own self, if you're not confident about your talents or your skills or your abilities to make it in New Zealand or any other country, do not take up that risk, because if you are fixated on saying that, hey, look, I need to really get that residence visa one way or the other, then, it's a pretty big load that you're carrying from day one. Instead, I would suggest come with an open mind, come and get yourself into that environment of your college, into that course, pick up part-time work. We are there to support you with that. Get yourself into the whole New Zealand climate and atmosphere, and then work your way, create your networks, build your confidence, build your English, build your networks, and eventually it will get there. Thousands and thousands of international students come to New Zealand every year from different parts of the world, and about 20% of them succeed to go on to become future residents of New Zealand. And my question, counter question rather, always to all aspiring students is, are you in that 20% or are you not in that 20%? That question only you can answer. We cannot answer that. But what we will provide is solid support, and we'll provide you good guidance and advice from day one, just the way I'm doing it right now. Looking you in the eye and telling you, if you are not confident, don't come to New Zealand, because then you're carrying a very big burden on your shoulders. And but if you say, hey, look, I'm good enough to go and make my mark in any part of the world, then I think you should get on that plane and come to New Zealand, because we do have a requirement for young, skilled, and ready to go workers, because we are a growing economy and we do have a shortage of people in many, many areas. So yeah, I hope I've answered your question. Sorry about the slightly long answer, but in my normal and usual friendly and frank way, I want to make it very, very crystal clear that the ball is firmly in your court, but we are there as coaches standing outside the court to make sure that you're playing the game properly. All right, I hope I've answered that, and Please keep watching my videos and share your comments. Join my Facebook group. Please ask your friends to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And all the very best. And I hope to see you here in New Zealand very, very soon. Kia ora.